Welcome, everyone. In today's special analysis, we're embarking on a genuinely profound journey together. We're going to pull back the curtain and discover what absolutely builds attraction. And I mean way beyond the superficial traits we're constantly told matter most. We'll be looking at some deeply grounded wisdom from our source material about human connection and self-discovery. This explainer is really all about taking off the masks we wear every day and finding the kind of genuine, authentic magnetism that lasts a lifetime. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this, so let's just jump right in. Okay, let's dive into this. Do you actually know what creates real, undeniable magnetism? Most people assume it's about, having a flawless face, an overflowing bank account, or just being the loudest person in the room. But I really want to challenge those assumptions right out of the gate. The source material we're unpacking today reveals that the most powerful form of attraction isn't a physical trait at all, and it's literally not something you can just buy. To truly understand what women find captivating, we first have to stop looking at the external world and start looking inward. Because honestly, if you don't understand yourself, you can never truly grasp the real mystery of love.
Moving on to Section 1, the biggest mistake of attraction. We're going to look at the illusion of the chase versus operating on a totally different frequency.
To understand what attraction is, we first have to look at what it definitely isn't. The source text points out this massive illusion out there. The idea that hovering over someone and showering them with endless attention is somehow going to trick them into falling for you. But here's the harsh reality of that trap. Running after someone, obsessively giving them all your time, actually makes you a slave to the pursuit. When a man is constantly asking things like, "Do you love me? Are you going to leave me? Will you always be with me?" he's desperately seeking reassurance. And that constant need for validation, it doesn't build love. It actually leaves you feeling completely empty. When you chase someone out of fear, you inadvertently push them further away. The person who always needs proof of love is hollow inside, while the person who is complete within themselves doesn't need that constant proof at all.
I absolutely love this beautiful nature metaphor from our source text. It says, "The sun doesn't call anyone. Flowers don't invite anyone. The river doesn't chase." Yet, think about it. People step outside just to feel the warmth of the sun. They lean in to enjoy the fragrance of a flower, and they sit by the river to find peace. Why is that? Because these things are entirely complete within themselves. When you're full, peaceful, and grounded in your own identity, you don't need to chase anyone. True attraction just comes naturally. The world literally comes to you when you're no longer frantically running after it.
Let's move to Section 2, confidence versus arrogance. It's time to break down the real difference here.
Now let's transition to what women actually seek, which is a safe, unwavering presence. And this brilliantly illustrates one of the most misunderstood traits out there. Notice the stark contrast between these two mindsets. We so often confuse the two, but they are worlds apart. Arrogance looks around and says, "I'm better than everyone else," constantly putting others down just to inflate its own fragile ego. But confidence? Confidence says, "I accept myself exactly as I am." It's deeply rooted in finding inner peace. A truly confident man truly knows himself. You've probably noticed people who aren't conventionally handsome or exceptionally wealthy, yet everyone just wants to be around them, right? That's because they possess a deep, unshakable stillness. There's no trace of fear in their eyes. They don't need external validation, and they certainly don't need to wear any masks. Which brings us to Section 3, life's purpose and silence. This is all about the incredible power of your own identity. This leads us to a highly actionable philosophy from our source: maintaining your own identity, direction, and mission in life. Attraction isn't just about how you act around someone else. It's heavily dictated by how you act when you're entirely alone, completely focused on your own path. And this is a vital warning for us all. If your whole life revolves around one person, you will inevitably lose yourself. A man must have his own goals, his own work, and his own direction. A woman is attracted to a man who is moving forward in life, someone who's growing, learning, and improving himself every single day. If you completely abandon your mission and make someone else your entire universe, the delicate balance of love is totally destroyed. You absolutely have to maintain your own drive. Otherwise, your personality fades away, and the attraction fades right along with it. Let's look at how this purpose actually translates into your daily presence. The power of inner stillness is just profound. The text argues that a woman feels your energy much stronger than she hears your words. You could say the most beautiful things, but if there's an underlying fear or anxiety, it's easily sensed. Conversely, if you speak very little but possess true inner peace, that's sensed too. True goodness literally needs no introduction. You don't need to constantly boast or over-explain yourself. It's about learning the art of silence. A man whose life is his purpose lets his life be his introduction.
Moving on to Section 4, love is not a cage.
let's unpack the true meaning of connection.
Next, we need to address a fear-based desire that absolutely destroys relationships, and that's the desire to control. When insecurity creeps in, people often try to grip their partners tighter. So, the crucial point our source makes is that wanting to tie someone down is rooted in fear, and love is the exact opposite of a cage. True love is freedom. It's the open sky where only truly independent birds can fly. When you try to control someone's life or restrict their independence, you aren't really loving them. You're just living in fear. And where there is fear, attraction slowly but surely dies. A woman is deeply drawn to a man who respects her, understands her freedom, and has absolutely zero desire to assert ownership over her life.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how it perfectly exposes a huge modern trap. Today, so many men are restless. They're constantly trying to impress and prove themselves, They use designer clothes as their identity, they use cars to introduce themselves, they let their bank accounts speak for them. But this high-impact truth from our source really says it all. The man who doesn't know himself always hides behind external things. When a man genuinely discovers who he is, he drops the act. He doesn't fake it to impress anyone. He presents himself as he truly is, because he knows that truth, raw and unfiltered, is always the most attractive thing in the room.
That brings us to Section 5, self-respect and bouncing back. This is the ultimate foundation we've been talking about.
Knowing all of this is great in theory, but how do we actually cultivate this unbreakable inner strength? Well, it all comes down to self-respect and your ability to weather the storms of life. Our source text lays out some tangible daily steps you can take. First, take care of your health. Second, keep a pure mind. Third, build good, uplifting habits. And fourth, create discipline in your life. It sounds incredibly simple, right? But it is so profound. If you don't love and value yourself, how on earth can you expect anyone else to? If you don't respect yourself, the world certainly never will. A man with self-respect doesn't demean himself by running after anyone. He loves deeply, for sure, but he never ever loses his own existence in the process.
And of course, look, life won't always be easy. Hard times will come. Failures are completely inevitable. People might leave and dreams might break. But true resilience hits on something really beautiful here. Standing back up after a massive failure builds this irresistible inner glow. A woman can absolutely see this glow. She can sense when a man hasn't broken under the weight of his circumstances, when he hasn't run away from his pain, but has instead used his struggles to forge himself into someone much stronger. The strength born from surviving hardship is incredibly, undeniably attractive.
So let's bring all of this together. The center of attraction isn't something you go out and conquer. It's what radiates from you when you cultivate deep inner peace, an unwavering life purpose, unbreakable self-respect, and when you finally remove all those masks. Attraction isn't an object to be acquired, it's more like a fragrance. When you have balance and confidence within yourself, love naturally finds its way to you. You don't need to pull anyone towards you because you become completely enough exactly as you are. The most attractive man in the world isn't the richest or the best looking. He's simply the one who has truly found himself.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Are you ready to stop chasing and become your best self? Because when you truly accept yourself, the world accepts you. When you love yourself, love steps toward you. And when you finally know who you are, that desperate need to chase someone disappears entirely. You stop trying to get attention, and instead you become the very center of it. Take charge of your life, build your inner strength, and just watch how the world transforms around you. Thank you so much for joining me today, and keep building that beautiful life.